Our guest for today is Mr. Gaurav Kemka. Thank you so much, bro, for giving us your time. And, we're really excited and looking forward to this day. Start this podcast with you introducing yourself a little bit about Polka Pop as well.
Firstly, thank you for having me. Super excited about our conversation. We were just having a quick chat, but super excited to see where this conversation goes. So, a little bit about myself. Born and brought up in Chennai. Did my schooling, went to Chinmaya, then also did my graduation here, went to Loyola, did my BCom there. Um, After that, I got a chance to go to the US to do my master's. So, did my MBA at Babson in entrepreneurship and finance, and a little bit at Babson is where I kind of got the idea for Polka Pop as well, right? Just a little bit about Polka Pop is we're trying to clean up the beverage shelf. Today everything that you see on the beverage shelf is filled with sugar, sweeteners, preservatives, and the idea is that we're a tropical country. Chennai is hot like 11 months in a year, right? Especially this month. This month's been really, really hot. For me, I couldn't believe that there was not a single option that somebody could pick up and have at any point of time in the day or in the evening or over a weekend that wasn't really impacting their health, right? And coming from a multi-generational diabetic family, as I like,
Okay, yeah, me too.
the idea was to always create something that everybody can enjoy on a day-to-day basis, and just have some fun. So that's kind of what Polka Pop is, and we're India's first homegrown flavored sparkling water.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That sounds really cool, man, and I really like the packaging.
Yeah, the packaging is actually quite unique.
Premium sparkling water, as you said. So, just getting a bit more into the details of the product, right? Can you just explain to us what exactly sparkling water is? Because I think there's a slight misconception between soda, sparkling water, seltzer, mineral water. The audience doesn't really understand that. Awareness is not there. So, what exactly is sparkling water?
So the thing is, sparkling water or soda, there's a lot of similarities, like you said, right? So I'll explain sparkling water first, and then I'll tell you what the difference across all of these different categories that you're talking about. Anything that is fizzy is by definition sparkling.
Sparkling drink, okay.
As simple as that. So it's not very complicated. People love to complicate it. I would say the difference between, say, a soda and a sparkling water, generally soda is heavily carbonated and is used primarily for mixing. Right, it's a club soda. If you open it, more often than not, there are a few people who enjoy it, but more often than not, you can't drink it by itself. Right, you have to mix it with something. Right, either make a fresh lime soda or mix it with your drink or whatever. And it has salts of sodium, magnesium. So that's basically what makes soda. Right, whereas sparkling water is essentially something that you can have by itself as a drink. Right,
it's quite popular abroad, right? The sparkling water, drinking it like water.
Correct. But the thing is that again, with sparkling water, you have unflavored and flavored sparkling water. A lot of what's seen in Europe is a lot of unflavored sparkling water, so your Perriers and San Pellegrinos of the world. What we do is flavor, right? Like, I think unflavored is still a little bit more of a niche habit, but everybody likes a little bit of flavor, everybody likes a little bit of fizz. And our goal was just to make the cleanest version of fizz possible, so we just made some flavored sparkling water. So
how did this idea come up? And you said it came up in Babson, right? Was there a reason that it came up, or how did you get this?
So this is actually a massive category out there. And for me, when I walked into the US, given the context that I have growing up in India, growing up in Chennai specifically, I honestly didn't know you could make fizz without sugar. I didn't know this was a possibility, right?
Up until you went to Babson?
Up until I went there and I said, oh, you could even do this. You can have fizz without sugar. Why did nobody tell me this earlier? Like, I was off sugar, I was off soft drinks. I said, and my first reaction honestly was to come back to Chennai. And so when I was visiting my parents, I honestly walked into every retail store, picked up every single bottle of a beverage I could find, read the label, drank it, found nothing without sugar in it. And I think given the context that I came from a diabetic family, given the context that, it's hot and you want something cold, cold beverage is a nice fun drink, I could not find a single option, and honestly it didn't make any sense to me. I said, this makes no sense.
Apart from like regular club soda.
It's crazy that nobody else thought of this, like it's actually a big problem.
Yeah, I think people did think of it, but I think that the beverage industry can also be a little daunting, and I think timing is also important, right? I feel like I would say that the timing to launch in this category today in India is a lot better than I would say 15-20 years ago, right? Because we are kind of moving a lot faster towards that health consumption, and kind of as sort of the younger generation is up and coming and is becoming the
Partying
purchaser.
Yeah, partying more, drinking more.
partying more, drinking more, spending more.
Spending more,
right?
yeah.
I think we've grown up a little differently than our parents, right? So I
100%,
think a lot more awareness. So I think when that starts happening, consumption patterns start changing, and in fact, people that you know are now growing up are growing up a lot differently than we grew up.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So I think that consumption pattern is changing for the better, and then COVID supercharged it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, fair enough.
And so I think that because of that, if I feel like I guess the timing's a little better today than back
was
in the
for
day.
somebody back
yeah.
in the day.
Yeah.
So going back to Babson, which year was this exactly?
Went to Babson in 2018, graduated in 2020.
Okay.
Unfortunately, graduated sitting at home because I was the
COVID
first batch of COVID.
I was also my undergrad. I was the first batch of COVID. I was in Singapore and I had to come back here. And
Oh God!
3 years of my life was wasted because of COVID. So did you start working on Polka Pop back there or here? What made you start it here and not there in Chennai?
Yeah. So I mean, there it's already an existing market. Right?
Okay.
So
Even the flavored,
the flavored, especially the flavored sparkling water, right? And for me, this was already an idea that I was thinking about for India a year before, like in my first year of Babson. So by the time I finished the first year, this was already a thought in my head. Like I had and some of my roommates will remember this. I bought like a massive CO2 canister at home in the US, and was trying to carbonate drinks, and I was infusing some waters and was doing a lot of random stuff.
It's actually become a popular fad now at many homes. I see them just carbonating their water also.
Yeah, but not the machine that is meant to do it. I bought like an industrial grade industrial grade carbonate. Like it was not a carbonating machine. It was a can. It was a cylinder of CO2. Right. So like you see those oxygen cylinders. I had like a cylinder of CO2 kind of just sitting in my house, then at the back of my car.
Like experimenting on random drinks.
Just like trying to see how I can carbonate those drinks, right? So it was already something that I was thinking about, speaking to a lot of people from the ecosystem in the US, speaking to a lot of folks in India as well. So this was kind of an idea that was playing in my head, was working on it at Babson as well. I think COVID kind of just made that option.
When you were here.
Yeah, it just made it
easier
to make that decision, so as to speak. So
I want to ask you a big question. So me and Ansh, we had the drink before.
Yeah.
And it's quite unique. It's very unique.
Yeah.
It's like something we were not able to understand.
Yeah.
Right? How did you how did you condition the Chennai market to like a drink like this, which is so used to traditional drinks like, Coke or Goli sodas and stuff like that? How did you think, change the mindset or custom the crowd to move into sparkling water?
I think that change is still happening. I don't think it's like a change that's just happened. It takes time. Like you said, even though you knew of the brand, only once you try it, you're like, oh, this is a little different. I think the good thing, like I said, is that people are moving away from sugar. And I think more often than not, people have the inkling that maybe these diet beverages are not as good for you compared to like even the sugary stuff. I mean, of course, the good thing is it doesn't have sugar, but all of these sweeteners do impact your health in multiple different ways, right? And I think people know that, and I think people are looking for those options. And I think that sort of understanding is what is driving people to drink Polka Pop. Also, it's a great drink to have on a weekend. So I think that those factors, the fact that it is the cleanest beverage that you can have through the day, like we have customers who drink a few a day also.
So you want to replace your drink with the traditional Goli soda,
traditional,
that somebody
traditional soft drinks, specifically your diet soft drinks, right? I think those, I mean, if you are trying to cut out sugar, might as well have something.
Are they harmful? They say like, the aspartame that is in Diet Coke, let's say, it doesn't have calories, it doesn't add calories, but it's still supposed to be harmful, cancerous. Is that true?
So, I mean, see, the thing is, there's a lot of studies that claim a lot of like very, very strong things. Like in terms of cancer, I think you'll see some studies that talk about it, but then you'll see another study that says you need to have X number of cans of Diet Coke a day for it to do something to you. I think I'll tell you fundamentally what the problem is, right? Just to tell you how sweeteners work. How a sweetener is 0 calorie is that it doesn't get digested by your body because your body doesn't have the necessary enzymes to break that sweetener down. So when you consume an artificial sweetener, it just goes through your body and comes out.
That's why it's zero calorie.
That's why it's 0 calorie, because no calories produced.
That was something we were talking about. Like, how is it even possible?
Yeah.
Right?
So that's how 0 calorie works. Now the problem with that is, so there's a long-term problem and a short-term problem. The long-term problem is that your body's relationship with calories change over time, because what your body anticipates to have calories doesn't have calories anymore. Right? So your body starts thinking things that are sweeter, things that are more calorific have lesser calories. So it impacts your appetite, impacts the way you consume food in the long term. It changes your body's relationship with food. Right? That's what happens in the long term. In the short term, because it doesn't pass by your gut, it does cause a lot of gut imbalance. Which is why if you read a lot of products that have artificial sweeteners, it says, especially alcohol based like erythritol, it says these sweeteners might have laxative effects. Right? That's because your gut can't handle it, and then you end up having. So you try a sweetened ice cream, you try a sweetened drink. More often than not, it does screw up
Yeah,
with
it
your
does
gut,
give you.
right? And then each sweetener impacts your body in different ways, and also impacts each person in a different way. Like I've met people who have gut issues, who get bloating, who I've met somebody got a liver issue because of having sweeteners for too long, right? Some people it doesn't affect them at all, but more often than not, like the way that we approach it is that if you can avoid it, just avoid it. Enjoy a fizzy drink as many times a day as you like, and if you're feeling and craving that sweet, have something sweet, have a little bit of it. Moderation is key. Enjoy the sweetness like that, as opposed to kind of doing this, right? Like that's kind of the entire thesis that we have.
Polka Pop, it's natural sweeteners is what I'm assuming.
No, we don't use any sweeteners of any kind.
Yeah, when we tasted it, we had an aftertaste of, let's say, peach or
Yeah.
lime, cranberry,
Yeah.
whatever we tried.
Yeah.
We could actually taste that particular flavor.
Yeah.
So, what,
So-
how?
So these are basically natural flavor extracts, right? So these are sort of flavor oils or flavor essences from the fruit itself that is used in the drink. A sweetener basically gives you the sweet taste. What you tasted was just the taste of the fruit.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, you
it
didn't
was-
taste the sweetness, right?
Yeah, it was the fruit.
Whereas if you pick up any soft drink, there's a very strong lingering
Yeah.
taste. And in fact, if you pick up a zero soft drink, pick up
Yeah,
any
it's
of
there
these,
forever.
It's honestly sweeter than the original.
It's sweeter than the original, and it kind of coats your mouth, and then suddenly your stomach starts feeling a little weird. Like all of those things start happening. So for us, we don't use any sweetener. So a lot of brands also do this. They say no artificial sweeteners. There's a brand that says no artificial sweeteners, no aspartame. Then they use erythritol, sucralose, stevia. So the thing is that at the end of the day, whether it's a stevia or a non-stevia, there are these impacts on your body. For some people like it, they use it as a crutch. Please go ahead. Like if that works for you, works for you. But we feel like for long-term consumption, it just makes sense to kind of.
So, are these flavors from the natural fruit itself? Like,
Yeah.
how does it come onto
Yeah.
this soda?
So these are not fruit juices, but they're flavor extracts. So just to give you the fundamental difference, if you take a lemon or an orange or a cranberry or a peach, like all the flavors that you have, your fruit juice would be juicing or squeezing out the lemon and getting the juice. Fruit juices always have natural sugars, fruit sugars in them. So technically, a glass of orange juice has a good amount of sugar in it, right? But it's fruit sugar, but it's still sugar at the end of the day. What we do is take the flavor extract. So give you some context, maybe if you take it from the rind of the lemon or the rind of the orange, or you infuse peach and then you take the flavor from that, that's the kind of flavor that we use. That's how our drinks are.
That's
zero
why it's
calories.
subtle.
That's why it's subtle and also no calories. But the moment you squeeze in a peach, there has to be calories. Like and that's okay. I'm not saying calories are bad, but we wanted to keep a bingeable drink. Like there are days I have 5-6 a day also, and I know that I can enjoy it without having to think twice, right? So that's kind of the idea basically.
I think the perception of a fizzy drink is always like, don't have too much of it.
Exactly.
Just have a little bit.
Exactly.
But I get it. I think it's changing now, you're right.
Yeah, and especially in this heat during the day when you're working
need something.
with a meal. Oh my God, with a meal you need something fizzy, right?
Yeah.
But how many times can you have those other fizzy drinks, right? So that's kind of where we come in.
So this is a drink that the mom does not need to shout at the son for having. in short.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't need to shout at your parents for having.
Yeah. Nowadays, that's been happening a lot. Nowadays, I've been telling my dad, watch your sugar. So I want to know your business model runs around quick commerce, right? Was quick commerce always a part of your business model from the start, or did it change over time?
No, the business model keeps changing
Yeah.
constantly, right? We started off on our own website. I mean, we started bang in the middle of COVID, right? So we had no option. We launched on our website. We launched on Amazon. Eventually got some access to quick com. We saw that it started working for our product. That time we were priced at 60 rupees.
Okay.
It started scaling. People started buying it. Said great. And then eventually we ran some customer surveys. Realized that if you wanted to scale it even more, we wanted to make it at a much more exciting price point for Indian customers. And then that's when we brought it down to 40. And 40 is what we sell it at. And quick commerce over the last 1 year has become a very important piece for us.
For everybody, I think quick commerce has been just killing it for the whole retail industry.
Yeah,
It's
it
been
is.
mad.
It is a. I think what do they call it? They call it a delta 4 change,
Yeah.
right? Irreversible behavior. Yeah. So that's interesting, and I think that's also driving consumption.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%. I didn't ever, I mean, there are so many times that I've sat in the day and I would not have ordered things if I had to go out of the house to get it, right? So it's crazy. I think it's done. Quick commerce has really been booming for the past. But what are the margins like? Can you tell us the margins like on Blinkit and Swiggy, on Instamart and on Zepto?
So I think it really depends. I think this is not a blanket margin, but it really depends on the category, on the brand, on how big your brand is. I mean, there's a lot of factors that come in, but I would say you can expect a range from 25 to 35, maybe even 40% in that.
35 to 40, 25 to 40%.
25 to 35 to 40, really depending on category, price point.
And can we ask you how much you are giving right now?
On average, we're at about 30%, 25 to 30, 25 actually.
And what's your opinion on that number?
I mean, it should be lower.
It should be lower, but you have to do it.
Today, I think as we start scaling, it'll automatically get lower. So I think we should also think of it from their point of view, right? How does a quick commerce company make money? So there's something called average revenue per square foot, right? So which means that your throughput of the product should be high enough for them to make money off your product. So now if a brand like a Coke or a Red Bull, because they're such large brands, they sell a lot more. So for them to keep that product, they need lesser margin because they're able to rotate their inventory better. So any new age brand that doesn't have that kind of volume, by default, it's just market supply and demand. You'll have to pay that higher margin, right? So it's a self-fulfilling chicken and egg problem.
Okay. And do they give you access to their data? Like, I mean, no, not at all.
They give us access to very preliminary data.
So by you, I mean, they don't give anybody access to their data.
No. Like very basic.
That's a blind spot.
It's a blind spot. You get some sense, like, I mean, this is also a relationship game, right? So you get some sense of what's happening by looking at some of the numbers, by talking to the category managers. I mean, the team is helpful, you know, like if they see potential in you, they are definitely out there to help you because it's also in their interest,
obviously.
right? But that, like, you get a sense of it. But the thing is that it is like selling at a retail store. What's the kind of data you get at a retail store, right? Not much. This is better data than that.
True, but with the retail store, you still have, I mean, some assumptions to make. Like, let's say if you are in a particular area, you're able to judge if that retail store in that area is able to give you sales.
Selling what stock, what flavor, for example.
Also, you get that basic sales data you get. What you don't get is the more important digital data. Yeah, demographic. What is there in, like, you know, what else is that customer buying? What are your repeat rates? Those are important piece of information for you to understand where the brand is going. That data is a little less available. Basic data is available. That's not a problem. Sales data, city-wise, SKU-wise, all of that stuff is available.
So you're out of Chennai now or you're only in Chennai?
We are all India.
And which city would you say is the highest consuming city of Polka
I would
Pop?
say Mumbai is a very large consumer. Bangalore, Delhi NCR. These three are our largest consumers. Followed by Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Kolkata. Ahmedabad, Surat also doing very well.
Yeah, Surat nowadays has been really coming up in the party life as well, and you know the younger generation moving there.
Surat, Lucknow, Ahmedabad, Chandigarh, these are all places that buy from us quite regularly.
So do you also stock up at retail stores or is it only quick commerce?
Few retail stores. We're about 300 right now.
In Chennai, which ones?
Nuts and Spices, Amma Nana, JK Cheese, Chennai Grocers. We're there in all of those.
Nilgiris and all of that?
Some of them.
Okay.
Yeah, we're there in the Kilpop, Nilgiris and a few others.
What are the margins retailers like these take?
Similar? Yeah, 20 to 30%.
Again, it's based on how the brand is and how
20 to 30% price point, brand. It really depends. Like, it also depends on the store as well, right? What kind of volume they are able to push. So yeah, but that's the range generally.
Can you break up the cost of a bottle? You charge 40 rupees for one bottle now, right?
Yeah.
Could you break that up for us?
Sure. I'll tell you basically 40% is GST.
Okay.
Right.
No comments.
First things first. Just so you know, I'm not overcharging. I am not overcharging. This is the least I can bring it down to right now. But India, so the background to that is India doesn't follow sugar-based taxation today. So it's only flavor-based taxation. So any aerated drink that has flavor in it by default has the same tax as a sugary flavored drink.
So that's something you can't avoid.
So that's something that we can't avoid today. But if anybody is listening and can help us. But I'll just break you the elements, right? So there's the cap, there's the sleeve, there's the bottle, which is basically preform. Then there's the water, and then there's also the raw material, which is the flavor that goes into that, right? The bottle would be between 2.5, 2.8 rupees, give or take. The caps.
Do you make
about-
bigger bottles or is this the only size?
This is the only size at the moment. The caps about 60, 70 paisa, a little less than a rupee. Sleeves about a rupee, rupee and a half, 2 rupees. That's all I can tell you at the moment. But that gives you like a breakup of your packaging material. The rest of it is really dependent on scale. So that's not a like, for example, like if you're looking at a larger company, they do it at much lower costs just because of the kind of volume they're able to drive per liter versus brands like us who are much younger, right, who are able to then drive uh, lesser cost benefits today, but with scale it gets better basically.
But do you think pricing plays a big role? Because
Massive.
when you see, let's say, for example, a Coca-Cola at 20 rupees at
Yeah.
the same quantity,
Yeah,
Is Coke charged at 20 rupees the same quantity? I think it's 30 bucks now.
30 bucks.
30 bucks.
So it really depends.
Chennai.
Yeah, so it really depends. I think if you're looking at the form factor, a can of 300 ml is 40 bucks, but a PET bottle of 250 ml is between 20 to 30 rupees. Yeah, so it depends on that kind of form factor really in India. That's the plus Schweppes is like 60 bucks. So that's it really depends on the product, category, brand. The pricing depends on that. But pricing is very important. India is a very price conscious country.
Chennai, would you say?
I think India is value conscious, right? I think that doesn't mean that expensive items don't sell and that there's no market for expensive items. But I think it's really a function of where you want to be as a brand. And as a brand, we want to play in that mass premium segment, right? We're not a 20 rupee, 10 rupee play like Campa Cola or a Coke is, which is a very different sort of play. We are a slightly premium play, but we're not, our goal is not to be like that 80, 100 rupee product that you have to think 5 times to buy it. We bring that kind of quality, but at the lowest price point possible, which is 40, so that you as a customer, when you're consuming it, you don't have to think twice. I'd say, okay, fine, it's 40 bucks, maybe it's 50 bucks. That 40 to 60 is that sweet spot for this mass premium consumption for something that you can have on a daily basis. I would say anything above that 60, 70 mark is very hard.
do you have any direct competitors for this particular product? I know Paperboard, I think, is doing something similar.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think it's exactly
I
the
won't
same.
call it similar, but yeah, but they are calling themselves sparkling water. So
Okay.
they're in the sparkling water space, but they're a sweetened, colored.
Yours is mostly the zero calorie.
We're a clean beverage. I wouldn't call them
Yeah,
a
I
clean
don't think
beverage.
they're clean. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not.
I saw your packaging also. It says "We're clean." Looking for something we're clean. I think
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah, the packaging is amazing. How did you come up with this packaging?
We worked on this packaging with sort of like I had one of my early like my family members who we worked on the very early design with. So the first sort of base for the branding, she built it for us.
Is it very different from what it is now? What it first
Similar,
was?
very
Okay.
similar, very similar. A lot of that original design has been retained, but we've changed elements, we've changed the back label, we've changed these small things on the side. We've just kept optimizing it as we learn better from the market, but the base has remained more or less the same, basically.
And do you manufacture the drink in Chennai?
Bombay.
In Bombay?
Yeah.
What's the shelf life of this? How long can I buy it and keep it in my fridge?
You can, so the thing is, on paper, the shelf life is 5 months. Okay. So 5 months, the product is shelf stable. In fact, the product is shelf stable for much longer. But the reason we put 5 in PET bottle fizz goes away a little faster than can and glass. So because of that, we keep it 5.
So how did you approach the Chennai Angels and how can somebody else who has a startup idea approach them? Like, how does it work?
I would say that every investor outreach story is a little different. But I'll give you how I ended up connecting with them, and I'll tell you what maybe some other folks can also do. For me, I reached out to them a little earlier. That conversation didn't work out.
Reach out to them via email directly to them.
Email or met them at a networking event or whatever. Then one of my friends was very close to. So he was. I met him in Hyderabad when I was there. He was connected to one of the I think the directors of Chennai Angel. So he put me in touch with him. Then I went and met him. I pitched to him. Then he said, "Okay, this looks interesting. Let me push."
Were they welcoming and very open to ideas?
They're welcoming. I think they are welcoming. The thing with all of these funds also, they're also looking for good investments.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that you need to also understand what their thesis is, what they're looking for, and then see how you can kind of marry both of your expectations essentially, right? Spoke to them. He said it was interesting. Then pushed the mandate through, then had a few conversations, then we did a pitch in front of like 20-30 people, then that mandate was accepted, and then sort of the diligence was done, and then the money came in.
So you put in a number that you asked from them, or
Yeah, we put in a number that we wanted, and then they decided internally that maybe we can raise this much, and then that's how that money came in basically. So that entire round was not Chennai Angels. It was only a part of that round. The rest of it was individual angels, people from my network, family, friends. So those are the people who ended up filling up the round. But Chennai Angels was maybe a third of that round, maybe third.
So apart from the money, what do these investors bring in? What have they changed for you?
Yeah, I think that it really depends on um, each individual investor, the type of investor that you have. Some individual investors are people that I've spoken to very regularly because they're able to they're in the thick of it and they're able to provide that kind of value. Some investors are very happy to just maybe receive an update or like just leave it at that. So it really depends on the type of investor, the level of interest they have, and at the end of the day, your time is also valuable, right? If you have 20-30 investors on the cap table, you can't pick up the phone and call every single person because you're not going to get the kind of value you want, and nor can they add the value that they that you're looking for, right? So I think it's just kind of like a rolling relationship, like you're building it on trust, and just keep them updated, and if they have something that they can add on, they'll kind of pick up the phone and help you. But that being said, investors have really helped. They've opened up a lot of doors. We've had a few investors who've opened up doors to reach out to funds. We had a few investors who helped us strategically thinking about a few things. So each investor brings in a different sort of skill set to the table, and it really depends the time and place you're in, how you're able to utilize it. Like we have another investor who runs a few rally championships in across the country. So
he puts your drink up there.
he puts my drink up there. So I mean, it's that symbiotic relationship, and eventually you'll find a way to figure out how to leverage the net.
Planning on partnering up with restaurants in Chennai or across the country?
We do want to. Right now, like I said, we're actively raising, and once we close that round, we're also exploring moving this portfolio to cans.
Okay.
So once we do that, I think restaurants will be a lot more fun.
So that's the plan, is it?
Moving to cans, is that a sustainable decision to go sustainable in some way, or a strategy decision? How
I think
why?
it's so from a sustainability point of view, I think there's still a little bit of that discussion to be had, because I think there are certain ways where we can say that one packaging is more sustainable over the other. So I don't know if it's a clear sustainability play. I think from an emission point of view, this is better, but from a circularity point of view, cans are better.
Okay.
But I would say it's a brand play first, right?
Definitely.
It looks better. People feel better drinking out of a can. There is definitely a sustainability angle to it, wherein, like I said, it is a fully circular material, whereas only now is recycled PET coming into mainstream manufacturing and production, right?
So for a sparkling drink or a carbonated drink, you only have PET and cans as options.
PET cans, glass. I mean, glass is by far the worst. I mean, you'll have a lot of people who probably get offended when I say this, but glass is probably the worst sustainable product for single-use packaging. Unless you like reuse it, then it's great, right? If you're able to use that ecosystem well of refilling, then probably harder to beat glass.
Then again, there are like hygiene issues with reusing glass.
Correct. But those are still easy to overcome. But I would say that, like, if you're using it for single use, I would not recommend
I
it.
think Goli Soda was using glass bottles up
But they
until
were
a couple of years ago.
But they were reusing it, right?
Yeah, reusing the bottles, but then they stopped glass bottles completely after a point, and now it's plastic. Even the plastic bottles that they have that ball in it.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
they give plastic now. No,
Correct.
they give plastic now. I don't think you find any glass companies that do Goli Soda and glass anymore.
Yeah, but plastic is great, but it also doesn't feel as fun or premium sometimes, right? And a lot of these companies have these no plastic mandates. Again,
What would you say is the next 5 years plan of Polka Pop?
honestly, would be to build a very strong brand. I think would be first to be the choice of brand for your um, outgoing generation, right? Like your 20 to 40, 45-year-old people, like to be that brand that they go to every time they're craving something fizzy with food or over a weekend. So that's one. And then I think to launch in a couple of other categories. So our vision is to disrupt the beverage shelf one category at a time. So a very unique way of approaching each category, right? So when we launched fizzy drinks, we launched it without sweeteners. at all, right? Which is the first for India.
Yeah, first time
So the
ever.
idea is to enter into adjacent categories and then build on those categories in a very polka pop way. So think say energy drinks or think say hydration beverages, but to enter those categories, like that if polka pops entered that category, they do it a little differently, right? So that's kind of the goal, honestly, and to become that, like our goal is that I think when you're looking at clean beverage, okay, fine. What's the clean beverage brand today in India? That's polka pop.
You plan to go international,
Yeah, why not?
but
Once
nothing in the near future.
once the cans are out,
Okay.
yeah, the cans would be an important piece for that.
To start exporting.
Yeah, no, it's also operations. Yeah, like shelf life is 3x, so it's a lot easier to supply outside of India.
What's next in terms of categories? You said, okay, energy drinks
Yeah.
is something you're looking at. I also
Yeah.
saw this brand, I think from Tamil Nadu. I think it's called Pursue.
Yeah,
They're a hard seltzer.
hard seltzer. Yeah,
Technically, you are a seltzer already.
yeah, we are a seltzer in some sense.
So
but
this is
we-
a soft seltzer, right?
Yeah.
So are you looking to go into, let's say, the alcohol industry as
Yeah.
an option?
I don't think at the moment. I don't think alcohol is the industry that we want to get in at the moment. For two reasons. I think one, I don't understand the industry, and second, actually, younger generations are drinking less alcohol today.
Really?
Yeah. So
What makes you say that?
I mean, multiple reports
In
out
India
there.
or
In India.
Chennai? Okay, in
India.
India.
I think the younger generation is actually resorting to other resources,
Yeah.
and other sources.
Other forms of
Other forms of validation.
intoxication. That's something I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
That's news to me. I thought that
Yeah.
our generation or the younger generation, to mine at least, are
No.
drinking more.
They're drinking lesser compared to
Okay.
what our generation would have had when
Back
they
then.
were at that age.
Okay.
And they're also actually on an aggregate. I mean, if you look at individual, I'm sure you'll have edge cases as well. But on an aggregate, they're drinking less alcohol and they're more health conscious. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's a huge part and parcel of why I think one is again, but the main thing is I don't understand the space, and there's also a lot of work to be done in the non-alcoholic beverage space. I think there's a lot more work to be done in the non-alco bev space than the alco bev space. So we'd stay with
Yeah, I agree.
non-alco
as well.
bev.
I agree.
Yeah.
In your 4 years, which would you say was your hardest year?
I would say 23, 24 and these 2 years. 23, 24 because we made a lot of changes. Like the business was not going as it was supposed to go. We moved price points from 60 to 40. We were not able to scale the way we wanted to scale. So a lot of things were not going as well. So it took us that year to figure out what's working, what's not working. So I would say 23, 24 was a hard year. And I think this year is hard because now we know what to do, but we need enough resources to do what we need to do, right? So now it's a different kind of frustration where we're able to kind of see the path forward, but you need to have the right kind of backing to make sure you're able to get there, right? So I would say these two are our most critical years, 23, 24, and I would say 25, 26.
So the price change from 60 to 40 really changed the game.
No, I think that and focus. So that helped the focus that came in with that. Focus on quick commerce as a channel and to spend most of our marketing money on that. Yeah, on quick com and to build that kind of scale. I think that's what changed.
Cool. So since you're a Chennai founder, we have a quick session or rapid fire session. But before that, if I was starting a business in, let's say, a similar industry of, let's say, sparkling water in Chennai, would you have any advice for me?
I would say, like, really understand the business or the industry you're getting into. I mean, honestly, like, this is a journey that you'll kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work over the course of time. But I would say, make sure you have an understanding of what you're doing and maybe have enough of a capital backing so that you can do a little bit of what you want to do. These two things I would say. And also stick to fundamentals. Like, I think we get very lost into the
Doing many things.
and also the beauty of complication, right? Like, I think when things
Yeah.
are complex, you make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, it feels
saying
like you're
that
doing something right.
I'm doing meaningful work.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes you don't need to do that.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's
it can
kind
be
of
simple.
harming the business more than it's helping you. Right? So I think do that. Yeah, and with Chennai, I think startup Tamil Nadu is doing a good job. They're really backing a lot of founders. They're doing a lot of activity, and so I would say reach out to them, understand what kind of support they can give you. They're doing a lot of activity trying to make Chennai the hub for starting up as well. So I think that there is an opportunity there as well to get their support, get their help.
They did help you as well, right?
Yeah, we were one of the grant winners by the Tamil Nadu
Yeah.
government called Tan Seed.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that was damn helpful.
So that was just a grant. It was just money that they gave.
It
you.
was a
No
it was a
advice,
grant
no-
that we got. We had to submit reports on how we use the capital. Also, when they launched a couple of other initiatives, like I think they launched another one called Brand Capital or something on those lines. They gave us some free face time there, and then a few members of the team were also, I think, part and parcel of a lot of the initiatives that are happening.
So you
today.
approached them or did they approach you?
No, I think I approached them initially. I think for the Tanseed application, I approached them. But then after then, it's been a symbiotic relationship. I think they've also reached out as and when they need something. They've been pretty helpful with that.
I want to know. I'm curious. Which is the best selling flavor in Chennai? Out of the 5,
Pan India highest selling flavor is lemon lime.
lemon lime.
Yeah, followed
I mean,
by
yeah. I mean, I
cranberry.
like lemon lime the best.
Followed by cranberry,
Okay.
and then peach.
So pan India is lemon lime. And are you planning on bringing in more flavors?
We brought in already. We now have 8.
Okay.
Technically 11.
But it was not there
It's
on the.
not yet live.
It's not
So
launched.
we launched ginger, obviously.
Yeah, I saw ginger.
We launched an exclusive flavor with Zepto, which is a blueberry.
Oh, exclusive meaning only on sold on Zepto.
Only sold on Zepto.
Oh wow. Okay.
We launched, so there's this other cloud kitchen that currently doesn't operate in Chennai but operates in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, called Low Foods. So they run these cloud kitchens called Protein Chef or Diaby Smart. You might see it when you're traveling there.
Health conscious.
Health conscious. So we've launched kefir, lime, and mixed berries with them.
I'm looking forward actually. That sounds so interesting.
It's quite fun.
Yeah.
And we're looking at launching a couple of more flavors hopefully this summer. Trying to see how we can get that going. But those are green apple, passion fruit, and a couple of others.
Sounds interesting.
With regards to Chennai, like let's say for example, I know this is a little too crazy, but like
Yeah.
a filter coffee flavor.
Or raw mango or something like that. You should actually try raw mango.
Raw mango was part and parcel of my very initial strategy.
Okay.
Problem is that, like to maintain sort of a little bit of the natural flavor profile and then still use raw mango, you get a little bit more of that raw mango pulse
Yeah.
sort of taste.
Okay,
which
okay,
is
okay.
kind of like.
But you've tried it?
I've tried it. I've tried it. Maybe I haven't tried enough. Maybe it's worth looking
I don't
into
know, it sounds
again.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. But what I've heard generally from a few folks here is that in the south, generally, ginger is a very interesting flavor. People really like ginger as a flavor more in the south than in the north.
Was that why you dropped the ginger flavor, or was it more because of, let's say, like a drink like ginger ale?
Ginger ale.
Ginger ale.
Yeah.
By dropped you mean brought in, right?
Yeah.
Because dropped means like leave it.
He's
It's a different slang.
He's talking about dropping of flavor.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, sorry.
like,
I'm a little old generation.
it did like a
Looks
drop.
like drop. Correct. Got it. So we're going to end with a quick rapid fire.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to ask you 11 questions. It's going to be a mix of both. It's quick answers. You don't need to think too much. Just the first thing that comes into your mind, right? Okay, which is your go-to spot in Chennai? Just to hang out.
I think I've not had too much of a work-life balance.
Come on.
Post starting Polka.
But there has to be one place.
To hang out, I think me and my wife really like to go to coffee since 99.
Coffee. Yeah. A lot of people have been saying that.
It's a safe space. You
Yeah.
know, like you know the kind of food you're going to get, you know the kind of coffee you're going to get.
Got
I
it.
think, yeah.
So, which bar or restaurant do you want to partner up with first in Chennai where you launch your stock over there?
I like soy. Also, I think the Madras Square group as
yeah,
well. You know, the beach and
The one
East
in
Coast,
Sterling as well.
and then the Sterling one as well. I think these are good folks to maybe start partnering up with.
We were at the beach by Madras Square last week.
What vibes? Beautiful. I don't think you
Very
get
nice.
vibes like that anywhere except in probably Goa. Like
it's
Chennai
very
is giving
nice.
us the Goa vibes.
It's very
It's
nice.
amazing.
It's very nice.
That's amazing.
I went there a
actually.
couple of months ago as well.
Yeah, we went there last week. The vibes are amazing.
Yeah.
It's like literally if you do outside of the walls, it feels like you're in Goa. Inside of the walls, of course.
Yeah.
What's your favorite South Indian food?
Dosa. Dude.
Dosa.
Dosa.
What's yours?
Dosa. It's
Ghee
different.
roast to be very specific.
as he said.
I like rava dosas. Rava
Rava
dosas
dosa?
are my favorite. But yeah.
Sangeeta's ghee roast, hands down.
Yeah, any ghee roast, bro.
Sangeeta's ghee
Somebody
roast.
just give me good ghee roast with good chutney.
Can have it every day of the week.
Yeah. Orange, actually. So, well placed.
And what do you drink your Polka Pop orange with?
I
What's your
drink,
favorite?
if I'm not drinking it by itself, I have it with black coffee. So I
With black coffee?
yeah. So I make myself a nice iced coffee and I do
It's
half
like a cold brew.
yeah.
No, wait. So instead of water, you use sparkling water, or you make the black coffee and then you put
Yeah, so I make cold brew and then I do half and half of cold brew and polka pop
with orange.
with orange.
Damn, I'm
It's
gonna
very
try
good.
that. That's pretty cool.
Very good. You can do it with cold brew. You can do it with an americano. Whatever.
Okay.
Like, but I mean that sort of how strong you want your coffee and how strong you want your polka pop is personal.
Okay.
But I like my polka
That's pretty
pop.
cool. I've never. That's something I'm gonna try
coffee.
for sure. We'll try
I think
it.
such a different answer.
You
I didn't expect you to say.
my favorite recipe though, drink recipe
Yeah.
would be peach with gin and a sprig of rosemary. The best gin
We'll try
drink
it.
that you will ever have in your life, and I will write and give you.
We'll
that.
have it together one day for sure.
Done.
We'll
Done.
try different drinks with.
I've become a part-time bartender because of polka pop.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but peach, gin, and rosemary. Like, if you can just get some fresh rosemary and just drop one sprig in,
We'll try it.
your gin game will change.
Today's a Saturday night, no? So
Gin
we'll
game
try
will
it.
change forever.
Done,
I'm
done.
not kidding.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Which flavor do you like the least out of the 5 that are there?
Very tricky question.
I know it's a question that's tough for you.
It's like
but
you're
something
asking
you
which
have.
child you
last.
like the least.
But one
I
flavor
don't
you
know.
have the least. Let's say what flavor you consume the least.
I think sort of at the back of my head, I feel like lemon lime sells the most anyway, so I have it the least.
Smart.
Thank you.
Okay, Chennai summer or Chennai monsoon?
What's the difference?
Now what we are going through right now versus what we're going to go through.
I would say personally for me, monsoon in the sense that it just feels nicer, but I think as a business owner, summer any day. I mean, you please have summer 12 months a year.
Yeah, summer
I'll
works
sell
well
more
for
of Polka. So, yeah.
Are you a morning vibes guy or a night vibes
Morning.
guy? Morning person?
Yeah.
What time do you wake up every day?
I mean, usually about 5:30.
Can you run me through your day?
So, I mean, so right now I'm doing function training. So right now this is more 3 times a week, but will probably hopefully become all week. But when I go to train, wake up at about 5, 6 to 7:30 is training.
Every day 5?
Not every day. I mean, I would like for it to be every day. Right now it's about 3 to 4 times a week is when I wake up at 5. Train about 6 to 7:30. Then make my protein shake and like have my, sometimes I'm not like addicted to coffee, but once in a while I like to have a nice
Polka pop.
I mean, really depends on how much stock is at home. Right? If I run out of stock at home, then just coffee. If I have stock, then definitely with polka pop. 9 I start working generally, and then the day ends, and then I go to sleep.
Life of a startup founder.
Life of a startup founder.
Been hearing this a lot from so
Yeah.
many startup founders.
So 9, and then usually I would say it really depends, but between 8 to 9 or sometimes 10 is when.
And early to bed?
As early as I can, not as early as I need to be. I end up sleeping by 11:30, which is not enough sleep.
That's not enough at all.
It's
right?
not.
That's
So-
something you need to work on? You think
100%. It needs to be worked on. It affects my day. It affects the
so?
way.
It does. Like you can feel that it affects
100%.
your day.
It affects the way I'm working. It affects my focus. It affects my productivity. Sleep is my biggest enemy right now, and I need to like figure that out.
Yeah. Filter coffee or masala tea?
Filter coffee.
Filter coffee. What about you?
Filter coffee.
And out of the next few flavors that are coming up, which is the most exciting flavor according to you?
Blueberry.
Blueberry? Yeah, that's
Damn good.
Yeah.
It is, I think, a very nice flavor.
Yeah. And the last question for the day is Marina Beach or Bessie?
Bessie.
Bessie, yeah?
Yeah.
Why? I think Marina Beach is better because of the crowd. I feel like it's not too crowded the way Bessie is. Yeah.
I guess I'm thinking of Bessie maybe a little earlier. There was a time where I was working closer to Bessie, so I used to go to Bessie a lot more. And also you have nice food options there. So I think going to Bessie, you can go and then get a nice meal and then come back home. So that's the only reason for Bessie. But if I had to run, then maybe Marina over Bessie.
Yeah. Runners, I think a lot of running crowd in Marina Beach is crazy nowadays.
Not like I run that often, but.
But do you run?
No, I haven't run in a bit, but I used to run a little bit.
Part of some clubs or just running with?
But I'm trying to get back into running, but I'm just trying to build strength at the moment. So that's what I'm focusing on.
So you plan on living in Chennai or moving out soon? Or what's your plans for the future?
I don't know.
As of now, Chennai?
Right now, Chennai. To build this, I don't necessarily think I need to move out because it's anyways a pan-India business, right? So, I mean, at any point you can only focus, like you can only be in one city. So, I can't be pan-India. So, Chennai is okay for me right now.
Maybe another round of Polka Pop and call it a day.
Yeah, we'll take one sip. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you for having me.